Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the final word. We're joined by Joe Barkley, who's come in to see us because he paid his is it prescription? No, it's prescription. He paid the subscription on Patreon, and he's here.
Struck his first thing.
We're just going to say he did.
Yeah.
I've no idea. I haven't checked the records. We haven't checked, but you could be a guest if you pay for your Patreon as well. Right, let's get straight into it. 2-0 victory over Sunderland. One of those games that we just, I don't care being bored of Goodison now and again, as long as we get the 3 points. But
routine win.
He went with the same team, same formation, which struck me as a little bit odd, to be fair. Obviously not throwing any toys out the pram, but it did strike me as being a little bit strange that he started with that team.
Yeah, I thought Lookman had come out of it, to be honest with you. I thought obviously Morales was back and had done a couple of weeks training. I thought he might come back into the side, and I didn't know whether he'd go, although I suppose we knew he wouldn't go to 3 at the back, but I just think that for us that's a better formation. But I think he knew that they'd only play one up, didn't he? So I don't know whether he thought there's no reason for us to have 3, Mark and 1. But the Lookman thing was probably the one I looked at and thought, I'm a little bit surprised by that. But isn't it great to see Tom Davies just a mainstay in there?
Kept winning her up.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like, I thought when I got the team, I didn't think Lookman would start. Like, thought it'd be Morales, or you go to 3 at the back and take Lookman out and just have 3 at the back, get the midfield, get it wide, and start playing it around, because Sunderland are really poor defensively. Like, we've got mates from Sunderland who came down. They said if you start quick here, it's going to be 4 or 5 easily to us. So to get the team was a little bit disappointing, I think, if anything.
Yeah, it didn't seem it didn't seem enough attack minding for me. That's all. Yeah. That's all. I was just a little bit. I know the players in the team like Lookman and Ross and Davies are attack minded, but it's the same thing we said loads of times. Unless you put someone right next to Ron. Yeah, he gets lost. You clutter that midfield up like we did against Stoke, like we did against Middlesbrough, and I was just a bit surprised that he went, and also the fact that Ron has been carrying an injury now that we know that. Yeah. I was a little bit shocked that he left him on his own again to sort of carry all that work on his own.
I think Valencia might have come in and just played right alongside him.
Or Morales or Lookman would be played right up front. I know what you're saying about not needing to have an extra defender, but I don't see playing 3 at the back as having an extra defender. I see it as having 1 less defender, because it's 3, it's not 4. I know.
I've got no way. I want to play the 3-5-2.
I'm just saying that. I think I think it's very easy to say, well, it's 5 or it's. I think playing 3 at the back is 3 at the back. It's not 5. Our full-backs don't sit in and make 5.
Not a Goodison.
Exactly. So that's the only thing I was a little bit surprised. But I thought he would have let. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Schneiderlin dropped in and made not a normal 3, but almost like a triangle 3, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that does really help. But I still think Leighton Baines is a little bit, doesn't really want to go forward. I think he's a little bit chained to Murray.
Almost, and he gets the ball and he goes up to the halfway line and he almost turns back. Yeah. He doesn't burst forward anymore, but he hasn't done that since we had Pienaar with him. Like, he doesn't seem to trust anybody to drop in and cover him.
Yeah.
But it was baffling to me, knowing what Moyes is like. We've watched 11 years of him. He was going to come and sit
organised,
very organised, very hard to beat. And you think, if we do lose Ron, which we did for spells, we couldn't get the ball to Ron, you lose all attacking impetus, and there's nothing going forward from us then.
I think that's the real problem that the 4-3-3 as it's supposed to be gives us. That Ron does spend large portions of the game isolated, and there's not, unless you can get. I heard people talking about Spurs yesterday, actually, when I was coming in here to film, and they were talking about when Tottenham play. They played it in Europe, the 4-3-3, and they've gone on about Harry Kane. He could have been speaking about Everton. They were like, Dele Alli gets played wide and Harry Kane's on his own, and then it was Jermaine Jenas, who doesn't normally make sense, but he did. It was just saying that the gap was too big between like everyone else and Kane. And that's what I find with Lukaku. And like you say, especially with him being in, carrying an injury, get men round him, because it frees him up, and you want him free. Because when he's free, inevitably he scores.
And it was quite obvious that he was injured as well.
Yeah.
It was a lot. In fact, it was a lot more obvious on Saturday he was injured than it was against Middlesbrough that he was injured. It was that weird. I could see him, just dragging the leg at times, and Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more, and it's weird that he's already had the treatment. But yeah, I mean, that's up to the manager. I mean, we started well. I mean, you know, first 20 minutes we settled into the game. We kept the ball really well. Snidling again just keeps everything ticking over, doesn't he? That's the difference. I think that's why he's here. That's why he's at the club. That's why the manager wanted him straight away, and that's why the manager kicked up a fuss when he didn't arrive straight away in January. I think it's because he, like no other player, he sets the pace. And as much as we love Gareth Barry and we understand all the good things about Gareth Barry gets caught out by his own inability because of his age and his legs. Whereas Snidling, even when he gets caught, even in the off chance he gets caught out or someone else gets caught out, his legs are so long that he just sticks a leg out and wins the ball back, and he just dictates the pace.
He does, but what I felt we done Saturday was it was that easy for us in the first 15 minutes that it became a training game almost. So it got down to walking pace. And what you were saying about the lads who come down from Sunderland, what we really should have been doing was peppering their goal and making them hang on. We didn't. We fell into that almost Martinez thing of going side to side and we were keeping it, and there were little triangles, and everyone was moving around the pitch away from the penalty area playing triangles, and you go and stretch them. And you know, the only real time we did stretch them early on was that lovely little ball. I think it was Funes Mori who plays a lovely little ball inside the fullback. Baines cuts it back, and Lookman should do better really. It's the target, and Pickford spills it, and if we could have done that a bit more, I think we'd have had more joy.
I say, like, I think if we'd have got at Sunderland, that could have been 5 or 6 at the weekend that really cut off. But as you say, we started, and it seemed to go back to Martinez last season. It was all very pretty and, you know, very effortless, but it wasn't going anywhere, and it was nothing. And the thing with Snidling that like, I love is that it's so effortless too. Like my favourite player is Pirlo because the game looks easy. He doesn't look like he's trying. And Snidling on Saturday didn't look like he tried at all, but wasn't out of position. He used the ball really well. And I say, if he was caught out, he won it back straight away. Him and Garner ran everything, like nothing got past them, did it?
No, I mean, that like it does become too easy. But I also feel like sometimes the players, they know, don't they? They know. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. That's the difference of being sitting in the crowd and playing on the pitch. Is the team know when they need to up it, when they need to stretch it, and they get caught, especially when Murray and Williams are doing the old Jags John Stones trick of just patting you, think, oh god, here we go. You know what I mean? Anything, and just whereas Bournemouth, where we defended horribly at times, the impetus was just to get the ball forward, wasn't it? Was it like a different approach? I think Bournemouth, we knew they were going to be very shaky, and we were just like bang, bang, bang.
They were open, no ball.
That's what I'm saying. It was very much, lads, don't worry about it, these are rubbish at the back, be very direct. Whereas I think it was almost the idea on Saturday was, be patient. They were going to sit back, they were going to soak it up. The best way, which eventually the goal came from, was pick them apart with a couple of really good passes.
No, it was. I like the patient thing because it's a belief in what you're doing, and that's fine. But there's a patient thing and there's overplaying. I think. I think with teams who are struggling, I want to see 15 shots in the first half, get half a chance and have a go, because when you go to an away ground and your confidence is fragile, you don't want to feel like you're under siege. And I think we've had it when we've been struggling. You go away and the shots are coming in, and you're like you're hanging on for dear life. Well, it's where we allow too many teams off the hook, really.
It's almost like we let them come, settle down,
and then we have to go again.
Well, I suppose it's like when we played City away and we went 1-0 up, and they came out of second half, and they just kept the pressure on. So and you're waiting for that one mistake, aren't you? And it was Jags. It's almost like there's so much going on that I mean, at times it isn't that hard for defence if a team's doing the same thing, whether it be crosses or long ball. If a team knows what they're up against, it's very easy. But I remember when we played City away, they kept on changing the angles, and they were very, and in the end it led to Jagielka giving the penalty away in the second half, because they were bombarding us from all different angles, and that's something that I think top clubs could get into, and that's something that we've got to learn how to do that. It's just catching teams, and it's just about moving the ball around at different paces, and you know, that kind of thing. But
take chances. Take chances with it. I mean, we've seen one towards the end of the first half where Ross has run at Gibson and he hasn't even looked, just shifted it and hit it and Pickford's had to make a save and it was out of nothing. Do that more often.
That's the thing, and having another option up front. Just because we play pretty football and it's great, but if we do go long, 9 times out of 10 it's bouncing off Lukaku or it's, he's winning the flick on.
He wins and there's no one
there. We haven't got like a plan B almost, which is what we are lacking.
I think the other thing is, and it's from the other end, is that because we haven't got that much pace at centre back as well. We don't push on teams, like the whole team doesn't push on, knowing that there's the insurance policy. So there's always that. The team all feels a little bit.
We were doing that with the 3 though, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because obviously the confidence is in Mason Holgate with the legs, isn't it?
Just look at Mason, don't you?
But yeah,
you know, a good start. I mean, you know, moving on to Ghana, because you know, no one, and this even Ronald Koeman said it himself. No one thought he had a good game against Middlesbrough. You know, Koeman said himself he was rubbish against me. You know, he's like
he was garbage.
Guys, not going back to the African nations ever again. I'm locking you in
a
room. You're bad from the African nations, lads. I'm going to anti-Trump you and stop you from going into Africa. I don't know how that works. No. But I think Saturday. I mean, obviously the first game he came back. First game with Sunderland, getting used to playing a different way, and probably just. He's fucked from the African nations, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, just play the tournament. Completely different conditions from what he's playing in England.
And I've had to come to Middlesbrough to play.
Yeah, it's got to go. No one wants to go to Middlesbrough. No one wants to go to Middlesbrough. Saturday, I think it took maybe 10-15 minutes for him to sort of find his role. And it's funny because we spoke about this yesterday on the rewatch, which you can watch on Patreon. And we said it last week about James McCarthy, about playing how he played a little bit more advanced against Bournemouth. I think once Ghana got settled into this game and suddenly realised that he wasn't the holding centre midfielder, Sunderland is the holding centre midfielder now. We've been used to the first half of the season having Ghana in front of the back four, nicking everything. But he's not that. That's not where the manager wants him now. He wants, and it does make sense. We've been sitting here going, our most energetic player just sits in front of the back four. The manager's gone, no, the most energetic player is going to go everywhere now. Yeah. And that's what he sort of got into his head after about 20 minutes.
I think it was the one when he ran into Sunderland. They ran into each other and Sunderland just shoved them away and carried on with the ball. Yeah. And Ghana kind of went, alright, I'll just move further up here then. Because there's no reason for him to be there. And the other thing is, and we said it yesterday, is that he started out as an attacking midfield player, I hate that number 10 bollocks and all that. But he started out as an attacking midfield player. He is good on the ball. So they were right up the pitch. And once he moved quite madly, Sunderland started moving up the pitch as well. It was
almost like he said, I'm moving forward 5 yards.
Everyone
we'll all go forward 5.
And we've seen it with the one where Sunderland, I think, breaks it up on the edge of the box and we go and it ends up with Lukaku almost getting onto it and it was bang 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 and we were
but it makes a difference having another midfielder driving into the box, doesn't it? We've said this for ages. No one goes past Ron, but you need other options in there. Seamus Coleman sometimes can pick a ball out as good as anyone, but sometimes he just puts it in the box, just gambles, which is what you expect from your winger or your crosser of the ball. They just put the ball in the box. It's like the old-fashioned centre forward. We've said it loads of times. Teams used to play with 2 centre forwards, by the way, kids. One went near.
Was great.
One went near post, one went far post. That was the old thing, and your winger on the other side would come on the other side as well. The opposite wing used to get 10 goals a season by doing it. And we normally just have 1 or 2 in there, but it was nice to see us getting a couple more in there. And I mean, obviously, the goal comes from that taking that chance, breaking forward, knowing. I mean, let's be fair to Ghana. It's been all on his shoulders so far, especially if you've been playing next to Gareth Barry. Love Gareth Barry, but his legs have gone. We all know his legs have gone, right? So if you're Ghana, you're just going to be like, I can't go flying forward when I've got this fella next to me. Whereas Saturday, he probably just went, I can go where I want now with this fella. He's broken. I mean, the goal itself, Tom Davies with a audacious pass, let's just say, I don't care.
I reckon he means it.
Listen,
I think I'm giving
it.
Tom Davies being Tom Davies, he probably wanted people to think that he didn't mean it, And that's what made it. You were like, I'm just going to play it, but I'm not playing over there.
That's why did Coleman just carry it?
Well, Seamus
knew.
Seamus lives there, practically.
But
he practically lives.
He did that in Finch Farm. Tom Davis.
Well, it's that windy at Finch Farm.
Ross make the run and he just slices it.
It's that windy at Finch Farm. You do those passes all the time, you know what I mean?
So Coleman's just
muscle
memory.
And Coleman, to be fit, he's got Rom, he's got Ross, and Garner. No one's looking at Garner. No one's expecting Garner. No one's expecting Garner, and the finish is...
Garner wasn't expecting Garner.
Garner. It's the first rule of Garner.
It is.
Don't talk about Garner. Second rule is don't expect Garner. Third rule is don't go to Garner.
He's always your go-to guy.
I meant to...
Oh, okay. But great finish. Absolutely.
Great finish.
It was a clever ball by Coleman. To make it look like he meant it for Ross, but Ross ran in behind it. Yeah. No, it was a lovely ball.
2 passes meant for Ross, that didn't.
No, just put it in there and let everybody else worry about it. You've done your job, Seamus. That's the thing. That's all I want him to do. When he gets it, just put it in. Let it. Once it's left your foot, you've done your job. Yeah. As a wide player. And Garner runs in and he just sweeps it into that top corner.
Must admit, like when I saw it was falling to Garner, I sat back down. I thought this was going into Rose's head. Like after the chances earlier in the season, I thought Leicester no way he scored near. And then all of a sudden, like, what a
you must watch the match in Matrix bullet time. You must be like, whoa!
It's bullet time. Like, slow,
I don't know. As you get older, you don't really get that chance. I don't feel. Once you're up,
saw Garner and thought, there's no point even. No, I see.
Once you get into your mid-30s like me, you're. What? I'm in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
Once you get into
if they're extending the top.
Once you get into your mid-30s, you once you're up, you just stay there for a little bit. You hear noises in your back, and you just go, "Yeah, I'll just wait here for a couple of minutes."
And just didn't expect Garner to finish it the way he did as well, so emphatically, and the celebration from him was great. Like seeing the release from him, but it's nice to have a midfielder who can bring goals. Like we haven't really.
He scored one. Hang on. Let's got one goal.
That's the youth and the optimism right there. You've seen it all before. No, like we haven't really had a midfielder.
It's great that he scored. Let's just leave it at that.
If he can chip in with
of course.
Between 5 and 10, like we haven't had that since Cahill. We haven't had a consistent midfielder.
Stop it, mate.
No, I know
what you mean. We need that from all of them.
To be fair, when Cahill was scoring the goals, no one else was. That's why Cahill scored all the goals. Because no one else scored the goals.
No, I think if he, like you're right, if he can get 5, Ross can up his Snyder.
You start to look around, don't you? You think your centre backs a couple, right back.
No, that's exactly right.
But if you're a midfielder, defensive or not, you should be scoring at least between 5 and 10. But you need goals to be anywhere.
But it's also that idea of opposition teams knowing that they've got to keep an eye on every single player. If you go into a game, look at Saturday. We're playing against Sunderland. What's your one thing? What's your one fear?
The foul.
You're not thinking about anyone else. All right, maybe Larson on free kicks, but you're not thinking about anything else but him. And you're thinking, if we look after him today, if we isolate him, we stop the ball getting to him, there's nothing else really to worry about. And that was how it panned out. Whereas if you're going to a game and you think,
like Spurs next week. We've got a there's half a dozen. We've got to look after.
You can name 3 or 4, can't you? Like,
and it's got to be the same for us. You can't just be. You can't. Let's be. Early on the season, I did a video for Ball Street, and they were like, "What's the thing you've got to stop?" And it was like, Balassi passing the ball to Rom, and that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, for the first 3 months of the season, it was, don't let Balassi get the ball to Rom if you're in opposition, and you'll pretty much stop Everton, and that was the way it was. Yeah. Whereas now you go, well, Ross is doing things, Seamus is back getting assists, Tom Davis is breaking from midfield, Rom's bang on fire, and now possibly there's another one in midfield, Garner, and you're starting to think, if you start thinking like that, the opposition will think like that as well, and then that's maybe why Garner got the goal on Saturday, because they were thinking, well, we've got to look after Ross here today, and that's what happens. That's what happens. The more football is mentally as well. I mean, it's like when you go to opposition grounds. If you go to an opposition ground, you think, we're going to get nothing here today. It's the old fortress. Like last season, everyone come to Goodison going, yeah, we'll win here. And they did. Whereas now they're probably all thinking, we'll get nothing here today, so we're going to sit back, and then it's up to us to break them down. And that's football is as mental as anything else.
I think you're mental as anything.
It is as mental as anything.
Hey, yeah, you with the Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, this is mid-30s. This is why I'm in my mid-30s. mid-30s.
You don't remember Crocodile Dundee? like 88, you were probably like 15. Shut up, lad.
You think I was 15 in 1988?
I was only 15 in 1988. Let's go back to the Ghana thing. I mean, if you can...
I was still in single figures in 1988.
Yeah, you're mid-30s, put it that way.
I was 9 in 1988.
Yeah, so work that out and you'll see he's not mid-30s. If he can add 2 or 3 more, it does give them other areas to worry about.
Yeah.
That frees Rom up then, because they're looking at Ross, and they're looking at, you know, Garner, they're looking at Coleman's a worry, Baines is a worry with the left foot over there. And this is why we could have, you know, Gabbiadini would have been nice for now.
Yeah.
Something like that for now, because Lookman, it will be hot and cold at the moment because he's a youngster coming in.
Yeah.
Kevin Morales is in and out. You never know what you're going to really get from Morales, and that's why another one there with Rom, just to take that, to lift that load. And that, to me, is what Everton have got to be looking at in the summer, to try and get another centre forward in.
Well, that's the thing, like, you look at the teams above us, and every single one of them has got 5 or 6 options of scoring goals. And at the minute you say we've got Lukaku, Barkley, maybe a few others could chip in, but you look at like Tottenham, Arsenal, United, they've got consistent scorers, and that's what we need. If we are going to move on, we need another goal, like at least another 2 goal scoring options.
You never know, Ghana might be like doing Letitia volleys from 30 yards.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That thing. What we've all got to remember is that.
I've got 1 and 2 since the African nations.
Just saying. 1 and 2 since Sunderland came in. But that's the point, isn't it? Is that we think we said it. I think we said it after the Middlesbrough game. He's got all these options now, and he's got to find a blend. That's essentially what he's got to do. And I know I don't like these conversations where people go, well, what's your best 11, or, you know, what's your best midfield? Forget about all that now. We've got a squad. We've got one of the best, if not the best, set of midfielders in the Prem as a set. I'm not saying individual, but as a set, we've got one of the best sets now. And if the manager wants to say this week Ross is on the bench, this week Tom Davies is on the bench, I don't care. I know we sat here in like December bemoaning the fact that Tom Davies wasn't in the first team, but he's in the first team now, and he is a first team player. So if there's ever a point where he gets left out, I have got no problem, because I know
we've got options.
Because we've got, but he's part of the conversation now. And what's great now is this group of players. I think now, and this has been the big thing, is that this group of players all know that they are part of the mix, and that's why they're all happier. And we go back to, and it all goes back to like the Delafeu thing, and people go, oh, he could have come on instead of him, and you're like, well, Delafeu's he wasn't happy doing that. These players all look happy. Morales, you know, when he comes on, he looks happy because he's part of it. McCarthy's probably the biggest one. He knows the manager likes him. He knows he'll get games. He probably also knows in himself, body-wise, that he can't play every game, maybe for the next...
He's got to build his
3 to 6 months till next season. Otherwise, he's going to get caught all the time. But all those players now are happy. They all seem content. They all know they're going to get a chance. No one's in the bad books. No one's
and
like...
winning helps that.
Exactly. But there's a feeling now within the club that everyone's fighting for the first 11, and you haven't got these players now where it's like, well, I'm just here. Like, maybe one Jags I feel a bit sorry for, but
I think the other, as you go forward, I think they realise now that things are changing at Everton. They want to be part of it, where in the past, we've said it before, the players, I think James Coleman said it, Leighton Baines has said it, that things are changing, and they know they're changing, and so all of a sudden you're going from I play every week, you know, so your standards drop to like, hang on a sec, look at that bench there. We looked at that bench Saturday, Jagielka, McCarthy, Barry, you know,
every single
Kevin
one
Morales.
Well, it's the first time in my life, like, I'm only 24, so that's sort of on YouTube. It's the first time in my life I can say that we can pick a whole new midfield depending on the game, and it's horses for courses and all that.
And realistically, would you, if you'd look at that pair and you wouldn't be going, I can't believe he's playing. He's playing.
For years and years, we've had a set 11, and that was it. Like, we had players off the bench who would start occasionally, but even then, you'd think, oh, I can't believe we're starting.
Still Osman and Neville in midfield.
I was going to say, but that was the thing, no. And there's a fear factor as well. Fear factor for the players. They need to.
You can tell, can't you? Like, even as soon as someone warms up, there was a moment on Saturday where McCarthy was warming up, and Schneider and Garner both looked over and had a little bit of a panic, and you're thinking, you all know that if you don't perform, you're off, that's it, like there is no second chance with Koeman, and that's the way it needs to be.
Well, I mean, we scored just before half time. Unlucky with Davies never scored as well. That being a cracking goal, that just smashing the post.
That's what made me laugh about it. Obviously later on when people were going, I could have gone 1-1. We were a little paint away from 2-0, weren't we? So it's the same thing.
I think that's more down to the way we played, wasn't it? I mean, but second half, I don't know. It was almost a little bit more than the first half in terms of overplaying, wasn't it? It was. They didn't challenge us enough to almost set us up out. Think of the right word, but just when you know you're in a game, the crowd's going and
clicked, did it?
Yeah, it was just almost like we'll get the second when we need to get the second, and that just
it was routine.
Yeah.
We just held them at arm's length, to the
the first thing I said after the match to my dad was, that's a cup game. We all walk out the ground and go, job's done, and that's it. Like that's the conversation over.
Anyway, it's the points. You look at it there. I was disappointed as much as I was delighted we won. You're disappointed with them because you're thinking they're near the bottom. They should be they should be fighting for their lives, and they didn't have any.
They looked really poor.
They looked terrible.
No, they looked. To be fair,
I thought they looked intimidated by Everton, which is mad. They looked like they had no belief they could get a result.
I've watched enough of David Moyes' team to know when they they set up for a point.
Yeah.
And at 1-0, I just thought they weren't going to go gung ho because there's always a set piece where you can get a goal. And also there's the point that Moyes knew, well, it was the old take a knife to a gunfight, wasn't it? He always knew where he was getting his points and where he wasn't getting his points. Yeah. And when he wasn't getting his points, he almost threw it before the game. I'm not saying he went that far because they're in it, but at 1-0 he was quite content to just not go mad because football is mad, isn't it? You always get that one chance.
But they had a period, didn't they, like 10-15 minutes in the second half where they didn't create anything really, but they had the ball and they were building a bit of pressure.
And that's where we get a little bit restless. I thought Ross had a good game. I thought Tom had a good game, but essentially at times they were both doing the same job.
Yeah,
they were both playing as not number 10s as such, but they were both playing as like number 8s. They were both playing.
They were both trying to run. They were both running into the same area.
Exactly, the number 8 position.
Not the number 10.
It is.
No number 8 position. No number 8.
There is a number 8 position. There is a number 8 position. There is. It's an attacking midfielder.
Zones.
There's an attacking midfielder. Whereas a number 10's a split striker.
Honest to God.
But they were both playing in the same position. Where
Lukaku's number 10, isn't he? He's asked, like,
in number only.
Okay, so now numbers are operating on the pitch.
Well, it's not the same,
Pat, listen, stop trying to be on bloody Vogue with numbers.
Vogue?
He was.
I can't remember him, Vogue.
No, I know that I do with a girl. I was thinking of a song I couldn't think of.
Never gonna get my lovin'.
Straight on it there. Oh mate, stop it. Now I think you're right, they were running into the same, but Ross Barkley had such a clever, mature game. Some of the passes, he put that one through to Morales that wasn't even on.
Yeah.
He just waited, and the little side, and Morales.
What was great about that was it was the patience, where normally you had 3 options. You had Ron there, you had Seamus there, and they were the obvious ones, and Morales was almost through a player, and he just waited, and this is what he's been very culpable of in the past. Whereas it's not that he picks the wrong option, he just either over it or under it. Whereas this time he just took his time, and what he almost did, and I think this is a sign of a maturing player, is he let the Sunderland players make the decision. Yeah. So whereas he always goes, I'm going to try and kick it through that person, you can't kick through Mate. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You can't do it. It's against the law. It's against the laws of science. If I tried to kick it through your leg now, unless I was a speedster like the Flash, then who can phase, you can't do it any other way. No. So he just waited for the players to and he just lovely little ball. Morales was through. Probably should have done a little bit better with it, but he had a mature game. So Davies goes off, brings Valencia on, and trying to, again, positive move to try and take us up the pitch. But Ross was great. But then there was the mad 2 minutes, wasn't it, towards the end? I mean, it was our corner, wasn't it? It was our corner.
Yeah, it was ours.
And somehow, I think the ball fell to Ashley Williams on the edge of the box. He plays it back to Foons Mori. I'm thinking, what's going on? Foons Mori's looking for someone to give it to. Plays it into Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin gets whipped. Clear foul. And then we're on the back foot, aren't we? Defoe gets it 1-on-1 with Seamus, shifts it to the right, and lucky for us, it comes off the bar, underside of the bar, bounces just outside the goal, so they haven't got a clear tap in, and we just get it away. And we deal with the corner. Pagana's brilliant, wins it. I think he wins it like three times, doesn't he? Three times. It, yeah. Morales, lovely ball to Rom, and once Rom's away, poor Brian Oviedo, honestly, need a mobility scooter there or something to catch Rom, because Rom's just away, and that's where you want to see Rom, isn't it? I mean, you just want to see Rom pelting down the right hand side, coming inside, player knows he can't do nothing, and the game's over.
Yeah, it was brilliant, obviously, by Garner, real excellent closing down, not giving it up. You know, they were probably like, why is he still on me? Because he was here, there, and he was like the flashmate, just giving it all that. And then when it went to Morales, I thought it was an excellent. I mean, the crowd did say, pass it! He just knocks it down the corner, and then Rom bears down. Oviedo's running with him.
As soon as Rom gets in that position, you just start looking towards the goal, don't you, in the back of the net. You think
Valencia's thinking, just square it to me.
I know.
With him.
I know.
Wasn't he? You know, and I think we said yesterday on the rewatch, which you can watch on Petra. Now, on the rewatch, is it his goal? Isn't it his goal? Is it going towards the goal? I think it's heading in the direction of the goal. So the fact that Oviedo
be very harsh to take it off, wouldn't it?
I could say it's close enough.
But I mean, the only thing I'd say was I think it hits Oviedo twice.
But so I think it's because it goes through his leg, so it kind of goes.
But I was going to say, because there's no sort of definitive suggestion where it's going to go after he's kicked it anyway. You'd probably go, yeah, that's his goal. You know what I mean? Like that's like an hour's, unless they're getting paid hourly, of course. You know, on the Judas goal thing, they might be sitting there going, lads, get the sandwiches in from Costco. We're going to be a while to sort this one out. No, it's that simple, innit? Though, go down to the top next week and score twice. Then
it's his goal. He's gone through and slotted, and it's 2-0, and you just go. Right,
because it was just that little bit of a moment.
Well, it's us as Evertonians, 1-0, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially with like every time Defoe got the ball, like you're just thinking he could do something, he could hit us, and hitting the bar was like a bit of a wake up call. And I think if we hadn't have scored that quickly after he hit the bar, it would have got a lot more nervous. But we did it at the right time. Everything was perfect in the end. Like it was a good, solid performance, and we won't remember it in 2 years.
No, I'm barely remembering it now. But
we almost made it 3-0, didn't we?
Well, Valencia, he's got to be scoring.
The pass by Lukaku was lovely, just perfect weight. And Pickford makes an excellent save.
No, for me, to be fair, Pickford, I mean, we're going to talk about Pickford in a minute. He makes a couple of good saves in the second half, but I think Rom and Valencia should have scored on both occasions. I think he should just be bursting the back of the net there. But we've got to be. I think we've just got to learn how to finish those teams off a little bit earlier and be ruthless. And it's not something a team learns straight away. We were the same against Bournemouth. When we came out second half against Bournemouth, we started slow, because we were 3-0 up and everyone was thinking, oh, this is happy times. We've got to be a little bit more ruthless, and this manager's injected that a lot more, but it goes back to the Martinez days when there was games where, we've said it loads of times, we were battering teams and then we just took our foot off the pedal, and it's really hard to put your foot back on the pedal once you've took it off, when the other team's got that, especially when the other team's got nothing to lose, which Sunderland didn't, but as we've said before, Moyes sort of just went, no, it's alright lads, don't worry.
He picks his battles.
He does pick his battles. We've just got to be a bit more ruthless in them games and get them done and get them finished, because that is the difference for me from finishing top four. You know, because the other crowd have seen it when they went to Bournemouth. They're cruising through a game, they're all made up, and Emily Chan's doing his hair and all that, and Jürgen's getting his booms ready for the telly and all that nonsense, and next minute Bournemouth come back and beat you. But that's why Chelsea for me are winning the league. I don't think they're miles better than anyone else. They're just ruthless. They get games won.
Yeah, but I think you're right. But you know, we're in that process, aren't we? Of trying to learn that you've got to get over certain hurdles. Marino's done it with United, hasn't he? He's done what he does. Wins the League Cup.
Well, he was crap yesterday.
Wins the League Cup, and he's off and running. I've won a trophy. In my time here, I've delivered success.
It sets everything off,
and it sets them up. We're obviously further down the process than that, and that's what it is. It's getting that. But again, I thought his substitutions were excellent this week. I thought he took Ross off at probably the right time. Ross had that. I just want to quickly touch on Ross before we move on. But I thought his performance was brilliant. I thought again he'll have much better games in terms of the assists he gets or the goals he scores, but just the maturity of it, and there were 3 or 4 times he danced around 3 of them, and he had
the penny seems to have dropped with him, hasn't it? That he doesn't have to score and assist or do world class things every week. 7 out of 10 isn't a bad thing. If you get that 20 times a season, you'll be a very good player. But he doesn't have to be perfect every game, because we've got better players around him. And it made me laugh because I seen a little clip on it was on BT. They were showing little bits they'd shown through the season. It's Gerrard slating us as fans and slating Koeman and saying that. I'm just thinking, alright, for the fans, maybe you might have been 40% right on the fans. Yeah. I'm just saying he might have been. There's a lot of people who writ him off and were expecting too much from him. But when he said about Koeman, and you're thinking, you're joking, aren't you? Koeman not only has got good players round Ross, but he also put Ross in a situation where Ross was genuinely feeling for his Everton career. Yeah. And he said it himself. I think he said where Ross said, why is it all about me? And when I stop talking about you, then you've got a problem.
He said it the other day. They asked him about Barkley, how well he's playing. He said, I've told him if I don't mention you, you just want to start worrying.
That's when you should be scared.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, as you say, Ross he was great under Martinez for so long, but then he's too passive at times, isn't he? And it's finally dropped that you don't have to play 40-yard balls constantly or try and lash it in from every angle. Just have a nice solid game, keep the ball moving.
I thought
the last few games he's been absolutely fantastic because it's been quite simple
without being spectacular.
Yeah,
no one's having a go at him because he's not scoring goals. No one's having a go at him because he's not assisting. He's a cog, and what the best cog that ever was Stephen Pienaar. And we love Stephen Pienaar, and do you know what I mean? You go back and look at some of Stephen Pienaar's assists, right? They're not. He didn't have that many assists because he used to always pass the ball for Baines to get the ball in the box. But his job was so important in the team, and he knew that. But Stephen Pienaar, so there was no pressure on him. Whereas Ross, too much pressure, and now Davies took the pressure off by coming in the next up young lad coming into the side, and now the fact that he's got better players in and around him, and he's finding just that little bit more consistency, and once he's got that level of consistency every single week, then he'll go up again to getting the goals and getting the assists.
On Saturday he put 3 balls through that weren't even on. The passing, the vision, when people go, he hasn't got any vision, you're messing at you if you don't think he's got any vision. Just look at the Morales one again, because that's the best thing I can think of. The shot that Pickford saves isn't even on. He just flicks it to the side and whips it. And that's what he wants. I want him doing more of that. And it was the maturity around the pitch, knowing when to go and win it. He's now putting tackles. He never tackled under Martinez because I think he had too many days if you're the best player in the world. And after a bit, your levels will drop because you're getting told and you're getting bummed up every day. Whereas this,
what?
Up. But this fella won't have it. This fella's like literally, you've got to do more. You've got, and that.
I'm not being funny. I wouldn't have it if I was Koeman either. If that's what's happening,
he needs that every day to know that. Yeah, and he will get praise for that. And the fans are now. No one when he misplaces a pass now. Everyone just gets on with it. It's just like, and you're like, this is what it should be like.
It's a lot better for him, isn't it? You can tell that he feels happier playing at the minute, and that's why his game has gone up.
His hair, it's got the hair, gone the hair. It's like Samson. It's got full Soldo, hasn't he?
It's boss. That's wet as well. Just quick wet before he comes out. No, I love him, and I've defended him all season because he's our best player as far as I'm concerned.
I think he suffered as well from being compared to their fella. Everyone compares him straight to him.
I may have compared him to Zinedine Zidane a couple of times as well.
I also did that with Kilban, so I used to think Kilban was better than Zinedine Zidane.
You are very young.
You did say that as a joke.
I actually said it in truth though.
Yeah, I think I'm made up. I'm absolutely made up. But it was good. We went off, and again the crowd giving him standing ovation.
Yeah, that was a really good
again. And then James McCarthy come on and just got busy, didn't he? Straight away, getting in people's fan. Like you said before, he looks happy now. Where the first half of the season he just had a cover. You could tell the games he played, he wasn't asked. Remember him at Watford? He was when we got beat at Watford. He was horrendous down at Watford.
And we said ourselves, didn't we? Just get rid of him. Just get rid of him.
He's not happy.
Get rid of him. But they all look happy now. They all look like they've been told you've all got a fighting chance, and you will all get games. And if we get, as I say, if we do qualify for Europe, then there'll be plenty of games, and there'll be more players as well, hopefully. But yeah, routine win, and that's what we want. All right, I'd like us to get that second goal a little bit earlier, but to be fair, I never really felt there was a problem all game, apart from just when Defoe got that chance. As soon as he got the ball dropped to him, I did think this is a goal, because I knew what he was going to do. He was going to step inside and clip and shift, and he gets back. He gets so much power from no backlift. So, and I'm still can't believe no one signed. I honestly just can't believe no one signed him. He's just a perfect player.
Toronto, no one went.
I just can't believe no one signed him in January.
Because they wouldn't sell him. West Ham signed.
If you'd thrown a fat wedge at him, you know what West Ham like. They
did
said, "We'll give you Queen's."
They couldn't. Sunderland couldn't have sold him in January, mate. They would have just literally been going. Yes, we're gone.
That is the white flag. They've got selling to right. We've gone. See you later.
Big thanks for Joe for coming in. Tremendous knitwear and his hipster Pirlo shouts. That's what it's all about. Pirlo's your favourite player. You've always got a. You always got a groove on the couch. Yeah. That's all I'm saying to you. Let us know in the comments what you thought. Anything that we've, anything we've said. Let us know. Do you disagree with Baz and his hatred for certain players?
There's no hatred. Listen, there's no hatred. That's all.
Have I mentioned Funes Mori once?
Only because he has nothing to do. I like him. I rate Funes Mori. I think he's still got a good job.
I've just instantly changed my mind on Joe.
No, I haven't given anyone any hatred. Have I given any? I said Kevin Morales done a good job when he won, didn't he?
Yeah, he was quite nice.
All right, fair enough. We've been just nice. We win when we're nice. When we don't win, that's when we turn. That's when everyone's a bastard.
Tom Davies needs to shave that beard off as soon as we get.
No, I'm being funny, right? I'm not being funny. If I went home and Tom Davies was in our ass, that wouldn't bother me.
You'd tuck him in, wouldn't you? You'd make him a cup of tea.
I'd make him a cup of tea. And I'd make a cup of tea and some toast, but he'd have to dip the toast in the tea.
So many things are wrong about that line.
Well,
yeah. Can we just say bye?
Let's move on. Right, thanks for joining us, Toffee TV. We'll see you later. Oh, John Wayne! Yes. John Wayne!